Glittery and golden. These are just two words that describe our coins. But they also describe honey. But without bees, we would be without a whole lot more than just honey. 65% of Australia's crop production rely on bee pollination. At the Royal Australian Mint, we believe that this industry deserves to be celebrated, which is why we made the 2022 $2 circulating and uncirculated Honeybee coin. Through this coin's unique design, we wanted to show the impact of the bees on our everyday life. Let's talk to Aleks, our coin designer, to learn more about this coin's design.
My name is Aleks, and I work as a coin designer and sculptor at the Royal Australian Mint. When I was asked to design $2 Honeybee coin, I felt a mix of excitement and responsibilities. It was a challenge to create something beautiful and functional, carrying such an important message. Honeycomb conveys the structure, balance, and community spirit of the hive. Also, the color choices for the coin, yellow and orange, they not only represent the honey, but they're also symbolizing energy and life. But what I'm particularly proud of, it's a collaborative work between the coin design team and engineering team on developing the honeycomb shape as a color-printed protective relief that hasn't been done on Australian circulating coins before. The color-printed protective relief serves to protect the color. So when we produce the coin, the print covers the entire top of the protective relief. But when it goes in the circulation during time, it gets removed from the surface of the protective relief and it stays inside the coin for many years. Bees are incredibly valuable and fascinating creatures. They are essential to ecosystem due to their role in pollination. If there is any downsides, it's a concern regarding the declining population.
At the Royal Australian Mint, we aim to use our medium of metal to design something that is going to leave a lasting impact, just like Dr. Julie Bartholomew does. Dr. Julie Bartholomew has created functional yet beautiful ceramic beehives to share her concern for the declining bee population.
My name is Julie Bartholomew and I've been a ceramic artist for over 35 years. And the project that we're talking about today is called Habitat. And it's all about bees and raising greater awareness of the global decline of bee populations. Well, the beginning of it was quite devastating because it was just after the Black Summer fires in 2020. But at the time, I remember thinking, well, what about the unnoticed, minuscule world of insects? No one was talking about the insects and the bees, and we lost billions of bees. I went to barrel beekeeping because I was doing a residency close by at Mittagong and met Hamish Zah, who is a photographer and beekeeper. And he was able to give me lots of information about the functionality of beehives. That's where it all began, and then realising that, well, maybe what I can do is create beehives that are different, that are innovative, and not your typical stereotype box beehive. But then I needed to consider ventilation, so the holes had to be in the right place so that there was airflow. There needed to be consideration for warm in winter, cool in summer, so clay is a great insulator. The opening of the beehive needed to be the diameter of 2 bees, so one could go in and out at the same time. All of those features needed to be incorporated into the new design. I was a bit worried. I was hoping that they'd love it, but as soon as it was installed at Barrel Beekeeping, they just were there. They created beautiful honeycombing for this project. So thank you, bees. So then the object was available for exhibition, which you couldn't bring the bees into the gallery. So, well, hopefully people want to have a beehive in their backyard that they can look after. And as many beehives as we can possibly have in this country would be fantastic.
Through this project, Julie fueled her passion for environmentalism to create a functional piece of art, just like our coins are. Julie isn't the only person concerned about the welfare of our bees. Let's visit the ANU to learn a little bit more about what's harming our bees.
So my name is Sasha, and I'm a professor at the Research School of Biology at the Australian National University. So honeybees are remarkable in that they are susceptible to a range of pathogens and parasites. When Western honeybees were brought to Asia, they came into contact with their sister species for the first time in millions of years, and some of the diseases and parasites swapped over. One of them was a mite called the Varroa mite, and it develops with the honeybee pupa and pierces it, spreading viruses. So it is basically like a syringe that transmits viruses from one bee to another, and that has caused collapses of honeybee populations worldwide. They just became established a couple of years ago in Australia, so unfortunately we are also going to face these bee declines in the near future. And in fact, the only way beekeeping is possible in much of the world is because you have to continuously, a couple of times a year, treat the beehives to keep the mite populations down. The managed populations, they never evolve resistance to Varroa because we keep keeping the mite populations low. Evolution, unfortunately, is cruel. It requires, death and survival of the fittest. In the bush, however, nobody's taking care of those bees, and the vast majority of them will die. The ones that survive, though, they will have an ability to tolerate Varroa. So what nobody has been able to figure out is how to take that natural resistance and harness it for our own needs, to understand how this natural selection will take place and how resistance evolve, and hopefully this will allow us to breed the silver bullet, the Varroa-resistant honeybee. The way I thought about the coin was actually in a more subtle and deeper way. So when we think about the honeybees having been here for 200 years, that actually goes back to this idea I had talking about the feral bees. So Australia has a remarkable density of feral bees, particularly in native bushland, and they have become the dominant pollinators, whether we want to or not. So they're non-native, but nonetheless they play this important ecological role. And so with the arrival of Varroa, they're going to go down. And this raises an important concern that people should think about. So it's not necessarily that, if their numbers go down, native bees or other pollinators will come in to step in exactly the same way. Yeah, because I thought what was really interesting in the coin is it's the honeybee, which is not native, and the native plants, which is really, I think, the key combination here from an environmental perspective. You're always discovering something new, and there's always something new happening. So, to give you an example, Varroa in Australia opens up a vast range of research opportunities that did not exist before. How is this interaction between bees and Varroa going to play out? Will we get resistant bees? How does that actually happen? All kinds of questions come to the fore, and so each day I learn something new, I have new ideas. It's really trying to figure out what is the most interesting and important question that I can work on, and then trying to raise money to actually address it.
So, next time you look in your change, you might find one of these, the 2022 $2 Circulating Honeybee coin, and you might just remember the stories we've shared today from Julie and Sasha and the importance of the honeybee on our way of life. Thank you for watching.